What is going on, Alpha Hunters? Okay, so the market just closed a few minutes ago, and as we can see, we have got some selling this week. I think, yeah, we sold down every day this week. So let's get a game plan together. I mean, I've shared this kind of game plan here on the Spy, and I'm kind of sticking to it. I really am waiting to get down to the more in the 4 mid 20 area, kind of back where this support level was, and then bounce, get back up into here, maybe to this 3 level area, and then last rollover down to 400. And I'm going to show off some different kind of areas and what kind of is lining up. But don't panic. It's not a big deal. If you've never really gone through like a significant pullback before, this is what it's like. They're choppy. If you don't really know how to trade them, you've never traded them before, just sit on the sideline, hold your cash, get ready to buy stuff as they go on sale, on discounts, that kind of thing. Get ready to buy some quality names, okay? But if you do know how to trade it, just know how to manage your risk, that kind of stuff. Because if things start moving against you, don't be afraid to close those positions. But let's get ready to make some buying happen over the next couple months. Definitely not anything. I wouldn't really worry about buying like long-term positions here in the near term. We'll get down probably into somewhere in this area, as we did break the 200 moving average on a daily on the SPY. So we'll look for a bounce somewhere in the mid to 420s, bounce up, and then a rollover, okay? So this is the SPY, and I'm not looking at the weekly and monthly yet, and this is the Qs, and the Qs have been hammered. Qs got hammered. So we're going to look at a few different things here, and one of them, we're going to start with Peloton. So I didn't really know where to start. We'll start with PTON. And PTON yesterday, I was at lunch with my old man, and PTON yesterday made an announcement, or I don't know if they really made the announcement, or CNBC came out and made the announcement that they were shutting down production. And guess when that happened? Right there. It's pretty obvious, right? And I actually had a friend text me. She messaged me PTON and like skull and the death crosses, kind of. And I didn't really know what she meant. I haven't been a fan of PTON really at all. But I didn't know what she meant until I got home, and then I was just kind of looking around the market, just checking on some things, and I saw this, and I was like, okay, so that must be news related. And then I saw the news, and if you don't know about the news, what the news said was they are shutting down manufacturer production of their bicycle and their treadmill, as apparently demand has fallen off the cliff for their products. So to me, that says one thing. I haven't really seen what anybody else says about this, but to me, this is what that said. Everybody has bought the things they want to buy from stimulus or other investment gains and stuff like that. Where's the demand coming from the future? And it's not just PTON products, okay? Because when we talk about what the SPY did then after, because this is right about here is when that announcement came from PTON, about PTON anyway, shutting down production. The market, the SPY, just continued to roll over. And I really kind of thought it would be any kind of, like, we got a 2-hour bounce in the morning, and then we just kind of kept fading, and then it rolled over, just kind of kept rolling over, and that's kind of what I thought would happen. But PTON in that news was not bullish, and that was probably the biggest news of the week. I know Netflix, they announced last night they missed earnings. They dramatically lowered their forecast for Q1 and that kind of thing. But what PTON announced was really big, as it indicates a massive slowdown in consumer behavior and just demand. Okay, and that is a dramatic shift that we haven't really seen from other companies. So they were the first one to kind of have a story about it. So that is big time, okay? So let's get a game plan together. And this has been my game plan kind of all along. if you've been following me for a few weeks now, a couple months, I have been kind of market neutral through a lot of this. And then about a couple weeks ago, on this day, I actually got bearish right here. So I still think we still, pull down to there. But this is what I want to show off, okay? So the SPY has pulled down roughly 8.5%. Okay, so the SPY is down roughly 8.5% from its all-time high. The Qs are down roughly 13.75%. Okay, so this is what I want to do. I want to take those two numbers, so 13.75, divide that by 8.5, I think is what I said. And the Qs are outpacing the SPY to the downside by an additional 62%. Okay, that is interesting. So 62%, because that's what I kind of want to look at a little bit on maybe price targets and where the Q can go. I mean, if you've been watching some of my market update videos, or you kind of talk with me about trading, you know where I think the SPY could go. Okay, so let's think and analyze where we think the market could go. So I think the SPY could get to maybe a 16% pullback, which is not unreasonable. To get down to the 400 level, 16.5%, possibly 800, or not 800, sorry, 380, possibly 380. Anywhere between 400 and 380, I definitely think is the bottom, somewhere in there. My spot's the 400. I'll be buying. That's where I'll be getting into the market. So if we think, hold up, I just forgot that number. So if we think the market will go down 16.5 to 20.5%, 16.5 to 20.5%, let's look and see how roughly times 16.5. Okay, and then 1.62 times 20.5. So what this is saying to me is the Qs could go down anywhere between 18% to 33.2%. Is that right? That can't be right. Oh, because this all right, hold up. Yep, sorry, screwed that number up. All right, my bad. Because I added, that's why. Times 6.5. Okay, there we go. So it could go down anywhere. If it keeps pacing at the current pace, it is outpacing the SPY to the downside. We could see the Qs pull back roughly 26.5% to a little bit over 33%. Okay, so that's what that's saying to me. So let's look at the Qs and see where that is. 26.5 to 33%. 26.5, so 26 is right here. That's about 26, which is the top of this candle, roughly, right back over here. So that candle, this bottom, this low, not a bad area. Or 33%. I don't think it'll get down to 33%, but 33%. So basically, if you want a good indication of what you should follow, there's a weekly candle over here. This weekly candle. The top of this candle is a 26% pullback. The bottom of it is roughly a 33% pullback, generally. So this is a good candle to kind of watch. I don't think we'll get back down to maybe this bottom, but that'd probably be the lowest we go. And if you look at a long term, I don't think we pull back to this top, the COVID top. I don't think we pull back there. Okay. But we have seen some selling, strong selling, even in that candle that I was pointing out, that is the candle of August 31, 2020. Okay, that is the week of August 31, 2020. So that is the weekly candle probably want to keep your eye on if you want to have buy points of roughly what I think the SPY is going to pull back. If the Qs continue to pace to the downside as it is currently, that is potentially an area that the Qs could get down to. Another thing that I found that was interesting is when I did some Fibonacci retracements. Okay, so I did some fib level retracements, and the 0.618 is right here around 315. So we're about 35 points away from that, and I would say that's probably a really good spot because it would probably line up really good with the 100 moving average on a weekly. So as this kind of continues to come up and this comes down, they might all intersect right there somewhere in the future, and that might be the bottom on the Qs. Okay, so 315 I think is pretty reasonable, which is also this kind of U bottom right here. The SPY, if I did a retracement on this one was the interesting one, and this is where I came up with the 380 number. Okay, so this 0.618 right here, I know it's kind of small, but it's a 380 price level. So that line right there is a 380 price level, and it too also kind of lines up with the 100 moving average. The moving average here on the SPY is a little bit ahead of the one on the Qs, but that's okay. You know, we might get below it a little bit, hang out, and then start to bounce. It's not really a big deal. But the XSD, you know, as you know, I'm a big fan of watching the semis. They got hammered this week as well. Their week was down 12%. They were down 12% this week, and for the past 3 weeks, from its all-time high, it is down over 20%, 20.5%. I do have a buddy that's already started buying some semiconductors, and I can't blame him because like that's a great deal. Okay. Another thing here though on Apple is Apple started rolling over, and I'll show you Tesla here in a second. And we did have, I need to get that off. Let me just delete that real quick. So we did have an evening star reversal right here after the pullback, a fully engulfing evening star reversal pattern. That was a kind of very clear sign. And if you also notice on Apple, we have a head and shoulders pattern, right? We have a head, we have a shoulder, we have a head, high, and we have a shoulder. And then we just broke all the way down. And yesterday, and we actually broke down on Wednesday, we actually broke down through. Thursday morning, we retested into that neckline and then rolled over. So this is very much not good, especially for the market, because as we all know, Apple is the biggest weighting on the Qs and the SPY. So that is not good. And if you look at Microsoft, I was looking at Microsoft earlier, they're actually holding up decently well. They actually did wind up selling down pretty good. They were holding up decently well earlier in the day. But yeah, everything towards the end of the day just wound up started getting hammered. And then we got Tesla here. I do have a bear call vertical, which is looking pretty good for next Friday. So the two names I'm really not bullish on right now are Apple and Tesla. Both are quality companies. I actually do like Apple and I do like Tesla. I'm just not a fan of their stocks. I think TSLA is just, just too overvalued. And we're seeing a lot of those growth names just been sold off a lot over the past several months to even a year. And Tesla, I think, could be one of those that starts to play catch up. Apple just doesn't have that as many growth prospects going forward as like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, stuff like that. That I'm a little bit more of a fan of owning. But they are still a great company. They still have loyal customers. They make a lot of money, all that kind of stuff. So Apple is not really one I would like go out there and start shorting with stock, expecting it to go bankrupt. Pick your poison on trades and that kind of thing. But I did play Netflix this morning after the earnings gap down, and it definitely didn't bounce as much as I thought it would. I thought we'd get the bounce like right out the gate. We actually wound up rolling over, and I wound up getting out of my trade. Some are over here. Sold some puts on it, so I was able to collect the volatility, the Vega crush and the Theta crush for today's options. That is what I'm kind of monitoring, my game plan. And if you really want to see how to trade bearish type markets and these kinds of markets, right now is going to be a good learning time. Just, if you don't know how to trade these, or you don't have the capital to kind of withstand some of these volatile movements, don't try to, get in with some paper trading, get in with practicing those kinds of things, but be patient. We're going to get, I am excited. I'm ecstatic because we are going to get the opportunity to buy some quality names at some great discounts. And if you were willing to buy stocks over the past couple months, then you're going to be willing to buy stocks here in the next 2 months when we're at lower lows and we have much greater discounts. Okay, I am hugely bullish over the next couple of years, so I am really looking forward to this opportunity to position into great opportunities. And here's another thing, is it seems like the market, and I might make another video about this, it seems like the market is rotating out of things that have worked a lot in the past several years. Okay, I'm talking like fintech, like high growth companies, and it might, and we don't really know yet what the market is going to start pushing higher going forward in the future. We're just going to have to wait and see what bottoms first. I do think semiconductors will be it. Semiconductors will probably lead over this next decade. That is my perspective, and I'm really looking forward to buying some more chips, honestly. So one last thing was interesting that I did find today on the Qs. If we look at a monthly chart on the Qs, I'm going to zoom in real quick. All right, let me get rid of this. 6 months ago, if you bought the Qs 6 months ago, so this is a monthly chart. This is what we've done this month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6 months right there. If you bought the Qs around 6 months ago, you are losing money. It's just, it is very not reassuring, I guess, but it's just funny how the market works. They say stairway up, elevator down, and that's a very clear indication. But I have started a Discord down below, free for now. Feel free to come hop over. Right now it's just been a few of us in there. I'm just still trying to build it out. It's not completely done yet. I do post a lot of my trades in there. So if you want to come hang out, shoot the breeze, come tell jokes, check out trade ideas, we're all here just to kind of manage risk, make money, create our long-term wealth, that kind of thing. We're just keeping it chill. But I'll leave that link down in the description. It'll be there from now on if you want to come check it out. That's all I got. Alrighty. Take care, Alpha Hunters.